welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back. I am out here in Pisgah National Forest getting ready to do the first, what I'm calling Shakedown hike. I'm just waiting on my hiking partner, the one who's gonna do the trail with me, and we're gonna go out just for a simple one-nighter. It's supposed to get down to like 25 tonight, so I think it'll be a good test of our winter gear. And that said, I don't actually have all of my winter gear, so it's gonna test the system I have, but I am still collecting a couple last items. I do have, I'd say at this point, 95% of my gear. There's just a couple key items, particularly my puffy, that I don't have yet. Right now it feels really good. It's like partly cloudy and 50 degrees, which for January is insane. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's nice to have my feet on the AT. It's gonna be kind of a quick one-nighter, up and down, up to the tower tonight and then back down tomorrow. It is supposed to start raining at some point, so I will also get to test my rain gear. But I'm excited. I think it'll be good. It's nice to be out here. Just kind of breathing deep and letting the weekend do its thing. A couple other musings I have been having before we really get going here. As the new year began, my internal feelings and mentality about the trail shifted slightly. So leading up to this point, essentially, I've been pretty optimistic, kind of feeling euphoric almost about the trail, and really just, you know, even though I was preparing myself for the bad, everything seemed doable and everything seemed possible. And now that 2023 is here and this is the year of my hike, something has shifted slightly, not in a bad way, but I'm having a little bit more of those realistic thoughts of, wow, this is going to be hard. And I am putting the same thought and effort into preparing myself for the bad. And while that's good, it's hitting a little bit differently now that it's a realistic thought and this is something that is coming up soon. So, not to say that I'm getting scared off by any means, but the way that I'm feeling about the trail has shifted to, I think, a little bit more of a realistic view. And I think that that's good, because that is truly what's going to prepare me a little bit better for the trail, rather than just being like, oh, it's going to be hard, but it'll be fine. No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard, and that's okay. I think it's just going to take some time to slip into that groove and become comfortable with the things that are hard while I'm hiking the trail. So there's only so much preparation I can do beforehand, and I do really think that I'm setting myself up well. But yeah, just kind of those hard realizations are hitting a little bit differently now that it is time. Look at all these happy rhododendrons all over the trail. They are actually a really good indicator of whether or not the temperature is below freezing. If it gets below like 35, 32, their leaves will curl. And given the temperature it's supposed to get to tonight, I bet they're gonna be curled in the morning. But for now, they're happy, soaking in all that sunlight. And the last thing that I would like to say, partially because I got here with way extra time to do the little chores that I wanted to do before my hiking partner and I took off. I still have like a half hour before she's gonna show up, so I'm just killing time. But I just wanted to give a quick update on some of the things that I said in my preparing for the AT video and how those are going. So a couple big things. I got my health insurance squared away. All good to have health insurance for the next year, which is great. My taxes I still have not done because I still don't have my forms. And the other really big thing was just gear. At the point that I made that preparing for the AT video, I think I had about 40% of my gear, and I've got a solid 90 to 95% of it now. So feeling a lot better in that regard. There's still a couple things, but for the most part I have my stuff, which is giving me the option to do things like a shakedown hike like we're doing today. So I think that those were the main things. I've been doing pretty well keeping up my physical fitness, and I've read a couple more AT books. And yeah, I think the only other thing I can even think of right now is my car insurance, and that's just something that will happen probably next month in February, basically right before I actually am putting my car on parked car insurance. So we got to Richmond Fire Tower. I thought that there's a shelter. There's not, but we're up at the tower and we decided to stay inside, and it took 3 different iterations. But that's how we're staying tonight. It is supposed to do some freezing rain starting at like 3 a.m. So that'll be fun. But I think that we're pretty well covered, and it's gonna be fine. As far as staying in a fire tower, this is one of the better ones because it is pretty clean. It's a relatively short one, so it doesn't shake when the wind blows, which is nice. And there are walls that like come up halfway, giving us some protection. So we're all bundled and we're gonna make dinner soon, but we're catching the sunset over there, and we're gonna have an interesting night. Good morning. So lots of things changed last night. We were set up in the fire tower and the wind got really bad, but that was even something we could deal with. But then 2 cars like pulled up because there's a service road that will take you up to the fire tower, so it's accessible to anyone. And 2 cars pulled up at one point. You know, it wasn't late, it was like 7 o'clock or something, and they didn't leave. And so for safety reasons, Skyla and I decided to head down the trail, and so we reset up somewhere else, much less windy, but still windy if you can hear it. But it was a better night, I think, than we would have had in the top of the fire tower. I was kind of excited about sleeping up there, but I think we made the right choice. But I did not actually sleep very well at all. I don't really know why. I felt super comfortable in here. I was really nice and warm, but I think the wind just kept me up all night, which is unfortunate, but also just kind of a reality of trail life. So something to figure out. It did also this morning about 4 start sleeting. So there was ice coating my bear canister and my tarp. So that's gonna be fun to deal with this morning, but not too bad. It didn't rain hard. I did also rip my Frog Togs pants yesterday. I put them on for wind protection, and almost immediately the crotch ripped. And I've heard of that happening to other people. But this morning I sewed it with floss, and I'm hoping that just gets me down the trail, and then I can also add duct tape on top when I get home. I do have duct tape with me. I just don't feel like fighting with it right now. But I'm hoping they just get me down the trail, because it's not actually that terribly cold out, but it's windy. So just trying to stay protected and kind of keep the heat in that my body is producing. So yeah, I think we're going to basically just pack up and head down the trail this morning. There's nothing really much to do. No views and wind. We are headed on out. We finished up and got off trail a lot earlier than expected. So I'm gonna go find some breakfast and coffee somewhere. But it was a good night. Considering the fact that I slept horribly, I'm in a really great mood today. And I think that a lot of that is attributed to the fact that I tested a lot of my systems for the AT and used a lot of my new gear for the first time. And a lot of stuff is working really well. So what felt kind of like an unknown feels like it's now a little bit more solidified for me. So I'm feeling really good, feeling optimistic, probably gonna sleep hard tonight, but yeah, heading on out. Thanks y'all for coming along for the ride. I hope you found something in here interesting. If anyone else is getting ready to do an AT hike this year or in future years, strongly suggest these Shakedown hikes because they really kind of weed out the stuff that's working and the stuff that's not. So definitely give those a go. And yeah, if you're in the Western North Carolina area, definitely check out Rich Mountain Fire Tower because it is fantastic, especially if you don't like heights. It's a pretty easy one to get up to because it's a lower one and it's much more sturdy than some of the others. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I will see you next time.